packaging I love of this record, and there's a backstory. Look at that gatefold, all those colors and images, and the real deal, real album making, real artwork, not digital, but really, a piece of art, in my opinion. The artist is this man named Tim Singer, and he sang and sings, and they just had a comeback record for a band called Dead Guy, hardcore band that's been around for years. I got kicked out of my 7th grade English class and sent home and had to walk home. My mom, she worked in Miami, so she couldn't pick me up. But I got kicked out of class because I had a Dead Guy hoodie on. And the album they had was called Fixation on a Coworker. And it had a cop in this sexy outfit and someone with a gun to another person's head. It said Dead Guy, Victory Records. And Dead Guy was my favorite hardcore band. And I used to sing in a hardcore band, and I always wanted to sound like the singer Dead Guy, Tim Singer. And so Tim always did their own art, and he did a lot of art in the hardcore scene. And it's one of those things where you never want to meet your heroes. I met some of my people that I thought were my heroes in time, and they ended up not being so cool. So Tim was one of those people that I was like, I don't know if I want to ever meet him, because I love Dead Guy and their band so much. And so, but I was like, you know what? I was like, I love his artwork he's always done, because it's so real, because it is. It's not, digital or, whatever, however you want to say it, or I don't know. It's really coming up from its, ground up, coming up with the album artwork. And I wouldn't say cut and paste, because it's not cut and paste, but it's very, just very real. And I hit up Tim, and I was like, hey, this is Chad from the band New Found Glory, and I love Dead Guy, and I grew up listening to your band, and I know it's a long shot, but would you consider doing the album packaging? And he was like, yeah, you should have asked me a long time ago. And I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I should have. I'm an idiot. Why didn't I ask him forever ago? So it's really cool that it worked out this way, that, Tim, the singer of one of my favorite hardcore bands, did the album artwork. And when you get the CD, because you are going to get the CD, you got to go buy it. These are all pages, so you'll be able to see more. All the little things that are hidden and just stuck in there that he did. So it was really cool having Tim, put it all together. And there wasn't really any direction. I didn't really go to him just because of him being an artist and who he was. It was more like, hey, this is the album name, these are the songs, this is the overall feel, go for it. And this is what he came up with. And I love it, and I think it stands out. And, I think that every Newfound record has its feel and looks a certain way, and this one especially, this cover will, be a part of our legacy, and will stick out, and so it was really cool that Tim agreed to do the album artwork. So that was a fun thing. So getting me kicked out of school, walking home 2 miles, which would never happen now. Can you imagine that happening now? I was in the 7th grade. I was in middle school, I was in the 7th grade, and the counselor was like, yeah, you gotta leave. And I just had to literally walk out and walk home for 2 miles with no guardian, no nothing. I just got kicked out of class. I can't imagine that would never happen now. Like the school would be sued or something like crazy or whatever. But yeah, so from getting kicked out of class wearing a Dead Guy hoodie to Dead Guy singer who designed that hoodie years later designing the New Found Glory album.